Just a few months ago, Angus Cloud's former talent manager warned the world that he wasn't doing well. Then Angus went through some tragic life events which ultimately led him to his death. Now the world is wondering, how could this happen to a 25-year-old actor? So let's get into it. Once again in Hollywood, we've lost a star too soon. And there are so many people out there who struggle with addiction and substance use, and there's enablers in their lives that lead them to this point. And while I don't want to blame anyone for what has happened to Angus Cloud, because clearly he has had issues with mental health, his father recently passed away, which we'll talk about in a moment, I just want to outline how important it is to pay attention to the warning signs. I actually posted a video about his talent manager who came out and spoke out against his well-being. We'll talk a little bit about this, but there were plenty of warning signs when it came to Angus Cloud, and I just wish this never happened. So if you guys have not seen my previous video, a lot of people are going back to it and checking it out because there were some major red flags. But nonetheless, Angus Cloud has passed away at the age of 25. He starred as Fez inside of the show Euphoria, and his family just recently put out a statement writing that it is with the heaviest heart that we say goodbye to an incredible human today. As an artist, a friend, a brother, a son, Angus was special to all of us in so many ways, which I usually don't make videos when people like pass away. You know, I'm not like jumping onto it, but I just think that this story is so important because like I literally made a video 2 months ago talking about this, and I just wish that someone could have stepped in his life to help him out. But his father actually passed away, and he had a funeral last week, and since then Angus Cloud has really struggled.
Apparently he was in rehab the last 2 weeks of the filming of season 2. He was a zombie on set. Everybody was worried, and Sam Levinson was like, please get help, we don't want you to die.
The family writes, the only comfort we have is that Angus is now reunited with his dad, who was his best friend. Angus was open about his battle with mental health, and we hope that his passing can be a reminder to others that you are not alone. Oh my gosh, it's making me literally tear up. And should not fight on their own in silence. And even though he did seem to be like, I guess, silent about his current well-being, which most drug addicts are because you're, stuck in your addiction, there were people around him who were calling out some of this behavior and some of those toxic friends. It looks like he was already deceased upon arrival. So whether it was an overdose or whatever it was, he was already gone, which is super unfortunate. He actually plays a drug dealer in the show Euphoria, and he recalls being discovered on the streets of Brooklyn, and he said, I thought it could be some kind of scam. Then they brought me back and they showed me the role, and it made more sense because in my mind they stopped me because I looked like a star? No, probably because I looked like a drug dealer. And it really does seem like his role, it just kind of like further pushed this like identity that he had as someone who was like using and who could easily be using. It also seemed like he struggled with fame, and I don't think that HBO was there for him. He said, people knowing me and recognizing who I am, that stuff F's with my mind for sure. I'd rather people didn't recognize me. I'm not mad at them because they do, but I'd rather they didn't. Let's talk a little bit about Angus's father, because he recently passed away, and I'm interested in how this had happened because his name is Connor Hickey. He and Angus's mother, Lisa, both lived in Ireland and moved to the United States. The pair shared 3 children together, one of which is Angus Cloud, who's the oldest. Connor, Angus's father, passed away in Ireland back in May, and an obituary written by members of the rugby club said that he died of short illness without providing further details. I don't know exactly what short illness could be. I would love if you guys comment below if you have any idea, because I'm not entirely sure what a short illness would be. Maybe like something very terminal, I'm assuming, that like they were just going to pass away quickly. One of Angus's final Instagram posts came on July 14th, which he shared a touching image of his smiling father in a red hoodie and red sweatpants. And here's that photo right here. He writes, "Miss you, bruh." And a lot of people are writing RIP and writing that they're now together, which I think is really sad to think about. Here's actually the obituary. So it looks like his father was a big part of the rugby club. And you could tell that this man was clearly super loved. So I'm sure Angus is really going through it. I have not had a parent pass away. I'm so terrified of the idea of it, but my heart goes out. I've seen a lot of friends go through that, and it's just something that you can't ever really fix for anyone. I do want to talk a little bit about his talent manager because he spoke out against Angus Cloud and Angus's team not too long ago. There were headlines like this: Angus Cloud vomited onto my face. Ex-manager opens up about actor's severe drug addiction. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to hound on this, but this came out back in April. Now we're in the beginning of August, April, May, June, July. There were plenty of warning signs, just weren't the right people there to save him.
Giomi posted a 23-page Twitter thread saying he had to resign as Angus's manager due to verbal abuse from him, emotional distress, and his severe drug addiction.
The talent manager actually claims that he provided CPR on Angus because he had been ODing, essentially. I'm not entirely sure what type of substance he would be using, but yeah, I mean, I guess this town manager saved his life, and then when he did, Angus didn't really thank him for it or paid him.
All of Angus Cloud's recent blind items have alluded to the fact that there is a storm coming for the actor.
And it actually sounded like this talent manager was a decent guy. He went in and he hired new acting and fashion agents, a publicist. He really put together Angus's life, got him health care, tried to do the best for him. But, when you are in that place of addiction and struggling mentally, there's really nothing anyone can do to pull you out of that, especially losing your father. So I have a lot of feelings when it comes to this Angus Cloud situation. I think it's super heartbreaking. I mean, nobody wants to see someone pass away at the age of 25, especially when it involves substances, because it's avoidable. But clearly there was no one there in his life who were prepared to go and take that on. I did want to check in with the talent manager. Actually, he tweeted, "Truly devastated and heartbroken," which I'm sure he is. I also saw that he liked something. Crazy how you guys are trying to spin this onto Angus Cloud's talent manager. That man didn't do anything express his struggles while also validating that he understood Angus's addiction issues and blamed the people around him for enabling and encouraging stuff he could not control. So I do think that this guy did the right thing trying to speak out against him, because he got a lot of backlash for doing that when it happened. But he tried his best to, pull the plug on all of this crap happening in Angus's life, but he just did not have the power at that moment. At the end of the day, I hope this is a lesson to a lot of people that addiction is not something to play with, and that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are struggling. You could be a big actor on the biggest show on HBO, and you could still be going through it. And you need to have people in your lives who listen to you, who hear you out, and who try to help you. That talent manager essentially tried to help him, but he got screwed over in the process, and he also had to stand up for himself. So I don't blame him for going out there and putting this all out into the world, because I do think in some way he was hoping that this would get better for Angus. So rest in peace to Angus, sending a lot of love to his family and to you guys, to anyone who's struggling with those negative mental thoughts. Please go and seek help, and until next time, I will see you in a new video soon. Bye guys.